So at this stage I've got the whole grid work scratched out with an awl and a square and a marking gauge, and I used the compass to set the full rosette dead center, and then one left and right of it, one step away really. I skip this line, the next one gets a rosette, skip this one, next one gets a rosette. Same thing down here with the half rosettes at the margins. So after that, what I do is establish this shape, and that's technically a negative shape. That'll mostly get cut out. It's the space between the arches. So the arches are here and here and here and here, but this is lots of times in these carvings I see the shape better as the negative than as the positive. And this shape begins with 5 cuts from a chisel. So I'll do the set over here. You can see it happening. The spacing from that center line, that vertical line running through the panel here, from here to the bottom to this cut is 7/8 of an inch each way. In this example, you can make that more or less, and what that does is changes the pitch of your arch. If you move this closer to the center line, you get a flatter curve. If you stretch it out here, you get a steeper curve, usually then with a bigger gouge. So I set on 7/8 of an inch, and all I'm going to do is mark that where it hits those horizontal lines running this way through the panel. And a thing to keep in mind is when you're striking this with the chisel, you want the bevel to the waist. And I just eyeball positioning the chisel centered on this horizontal line. And then turn it around, bevel to the waist, and do those cuts. And now it's 5 cuts. So now I'm going to do the ones perpendicular to that, and I've got the chisel in this position, so I do those 3, then come over here and do these 3. And you want this cut perpendicular, 90 degrees to that first one. Here I'm a little bit tilted, and I can give that another whack like that. Turn the chisel around, bevel to the waist still, striking this one. There. Now, another pair, left and right, connecting like that. And so that's the 5 cuts with the chisel at each section. Now the gouge connects the end of that cut with that scribed line, and just give it a good wallop, get it in position. You sometimes might have to walk it over a little bit to connect them, because they have to touch. The neighboring cuts always have to touch, or you won't be able to take the wood out between them. And when I set out to do this panel this morning, I made a cut with this gouge in the wrong place. I hit it right like that, and it was cut that deep, and it was wrong. The only remedy for that is the plane. And I had to plane it all off and redo all the layout and start again. So that's those three. Now there's half versions of those at the ends, at the left and right margin. And those can throw you off. The arch will hit the margin like it does here. So when you go to set these cuts, make sure you're aiming them the right way, or you'll be very sad. So I'll make a mark at 7/8 and do half versions of these. Oh, that's right in here. I missed my line. There's another section, there's sort of a quarter of them up here, but I'll just concentrate on the full ones right now. So this comes down to where is the waist, and the waist is toward the margin. And if I didn't say so, this is a 1/4 inch chisel. And often I'll do these with a 3/8 inch chisel. I drew both versions here on paper as I was working out this spacing, and decided I liked the 1/4 inch better for this panel. The other one would have worked just fine, it's just a different look. So there, connecting those right to the margin. So that establishes those, and next I'll do the ones that are truncated at the corners and here at the margins.